Hey guys, Tech Nate.
Rusty Sheriff's Badge.
Today on Tech Talk, we're going to cover a couple topics. First being the PS4 Slim, and second, the Neo.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that one. Bit of a disclaimer. Everything that we're talking about is still rumor and speculation.
We've seen a lot of leaked images. First and foremost is the physical appearance and attributes about it.
Yeah.
Matte black, rounded edges, tactile buttons.
All in all, just a simplified design over the original PS4 design. Something they do, I mean, the PS3 Fat to the PS3 Slim, the first iteration of it. Basic principles are the same, they go from this nice sleek design with the touch sensitive buttons and all that stuff to just a really simple design. From the PS3 Fat to the PS3 Slim, it didn't really seem like there wasn't any real intention behind it, but I think with the prospect of the Neo, that now the redesign of the PS4 is actually totally intentional. They're just trying to kind of make it look like just a basic entry into the PlayStation ecosystem, and it's a smart move, because they got to really, with releasing these two things to sit on the shelves next to each other, you got to be able to tell the difference between the two, and having a nice simplified design is going to help people, along with the correct price point, tell the difference between the two.
And on that note, with the leaked images that I've seen so far, the PS4 Slim box looks identical to the original PS4.
Yeah, and it's seen the boxes. They're not actually calling it. They're not giving it some sort of like moniker to kind of make it seem like it's a slimline version. It just says PS4 on the box, so it's not essentially like a slim version of it. It's more of just like a simplified version to replace the existing PS4. It's going to be the basic entry into the PlayStation ecosystem, and the Neo is going to have its own nice little design, which I'm hoping they're going to keep the Neo similar to the original PS4 design.
Another change we've been hearing about in the PS4 Slim is the rear interface and the possible removal of the optical audio out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at any of the other videos of the people that actually have been doing unboxings and stuff like that, it's like, this thing's out in the wild. Sony just has to acknowledge that it exists. That's it, really. I mean, it's a real thing. They're pulling it out of the box. They're showing us the manuals and all that stuff, all the stuff that comes with it. It's a real thing. So the way it sits in the box like that is the way we're going to get it, and it has no optical audio out.
On that note, was the I never owned a PS3 Slim. Did they do that from the PS3 Fat to the Slim?
There wasn't anything. I don't believe that actually changed on the backside. There was nothing. I mean, which kind of it tells me with the PS4 Slim, they're simplifying it. They're trying to bring costs down, and they're making it, like I said, a basic entry. So they're getting rid of the optical audio port because they want people to go for the big dog, which is going to be the Neo. It's going to be sitting on the shelf next to the Slim. So, I mean, if people want the premium features, they're going to have to pay a premium price. And hopefully that premium price isn't too ridiculous.
Touching base on some other things about the PS4 Slim that we've heard is the internals are going to basically be the same. CPU, everything as far as that goes is going to be the same. Still going to get all the same accessories as you did with the PS4. Your USB cable for your controller, as well as the controller, your possible HDMI and power cord.
The controller being slightly redesigned. It's not a huge deal. You can see the light bar on the top side here of the controller. Its major utilization in games has been kind of like a health bar: green for when you're totally healthy, yellow when you're taking damage, red when you're almost dead, and stuff like that. And a lot of people, they didn't really like to flip the controller up. It seems like a small gripe, but being able to just kind of quickly glance down at your controller, what it's going to have now is a little clear window right on top of the touchpad, so that when the light bar shines light through, it'll shine out that clear little window. It's not going to be an actual extra light that's added to it. It just now shines through the touchpad. Slight color change here behind the buttons, and then with the joysticks and then the grips, it's going to be that actual kind of like that PlayStation gray color. It seems a little darker than the original gray, but I mean, all in all, I mean, like, they didn't really have to change much. I'm hoping for better battery life out of the DualShock 4, because that's my biggest gripe, is the battery life. Like, can't go on a long gaming session without having that damn thing plugged in. Now, the nice part about this is with the new controller, when you have it plugged in, you'll be able to actually go in the settings and make a quick change so that your DualShock 4 will actually communicate to the system over the USB cable, eliminating any sort of latency that you'll get with wireless connectivity via Bluetooth. So that's actually going to be nice for, you know, competitive gaming and stuff like that. It gets rid of any latency and input and stuff like that.
It's basically what, one millisecond?
Yeah, it's somewhere in that area, but it still counts. You know, a lot of these people doing fighting games and stuff like that, you know, the input lag and stuff like that is a big deal to them.
One other thing is still going to have the Blu-ray drive. One very far-fetched rumor I heard was a possible September 14th release.
Seeing that it's actually in people's hands, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, very plausible.
I'm fully expecting them to come out and say this is the Slim. You know, they're not going to talk about it too much because people already know it exists, so they're not really going to touch on it a whole lot. They're just going to basically say, "Hi, you know, this is it. It's real, and this is when it's going to release, and this is the price point it's going to release at." I'm expecting $249.99, as are a lot of other people in the industry and stuff like that. You know,
based
that's
on
just
500 gig.
Yeah, 500 gigabyte. That just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
It does. It really makes the most sense. That's a great price point. Undercuts the Xbox One S a little bit, but it has a smaller hard drive in it. But like I said, it's a basic entry, and it doesn't do the things that the Xbox One S actually does too. With the Xbox One S, you're getting a little bit of a boost in quality. Like, you know, some of the components have like their core clocks boosted just a tad bit, you know, but it's still the same essential components on the inside. And then it's got, you know, the HDR and the 4K upscaling and stuff like that. Sony doesn't have to do any of that because they have Neo coming out so close, and that's kind of like why I keep saying that the Neo is going to be on the shelf so close to when the Slim launches, probably around the time that the VR headset launches, just because, you know, they're doing all these different things. You know, they're cutting out the optical cable, 500 gig hard drive. Just the price point has to be at $249.99.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and then just they're not upgrading anything on the internals. They very well could have. They could have taken the Microsoft route, but they don't have to compete with Microsoft in that aspect, because Microsoft did that because their next iteration isn't going to come out until late next year. Sony's is going to be on the shelf hopefully by the end of this year at $399.
Even I even believe it's possible it's going to come out in October with the VR. And for anyone that doesn't know, PlayStation's holding a press conference this Wednesday, September 7th. We may cover a portion of the live stream in a later video, do a follow-up. I guess without further ado, we'll touch base on the Neo.
Neo is going to be basically just like an up-spec version of the PS4. Give it a little more horsepower. There's bunch of different rumors and stuff like that about what kind of components it's going to have. It's going to maintain, you know, the same structure, just be boosted up a little bit in the core clocks of everything and stuff like that. I think that's the route they're going to take to keep costs down and just kind of give everyone an extra bump so that the VR will run even better. I'm not going to say better, because the PS4 actually does run all the VR stuff really good, according to all the reports and stuff like that, but having it run a little bit better, higher resolution, stuff like that, that's never a bad thing. So I think it's going to be the 4.2 teraflop version that a lot of people have reported on. I'm expecting it at $399. That would be the sweet spot right there, at $399, and it would be a nice little difference between the Slim. If the Slim came out at $249.99, the Neo came out at $399, that would be enough of a price difference for consumers to look at these two things sitting on the shelf and know that one is, you know, obviously more capable than the other. So,
and of course the Slim's aiming for the entry level or not so hardcore.
So I'm expecting the Neo to have all the frills and everything. You know, it's going to have the optical port, you know, because that is a big deal to some people, you know, myself included, because of my headset and all
ultimately
that stuff.
That is the way to go.
I mean, if you want true surround sound, 7.1 surround sound, you got to have the optical audio out, and that's just the way to go. And I mean, with people that have spent the extra money to get a decent headset, I got a great deal on some Astro 850s, and that uses the optical audio out to a little kind of like a mix amp that puts everything to the headphones, you know, and it's all 7.1 surround, and without the audio, optical audio, I can't really utilize the headset. Right. So they're really banking on people that spend that extra money, like I do with that kind of stuff, to be able to just go out and pick up the Neo. The Slim isn't for me. I want one so I can tear it apart and see how exactly they crammed everything inside that thing. Because I was super impressed when I took apart my actual original PS4, my launch PS4, to see how they stuffed everything inside there. So I'm really curious to get inside a Slim. Yeah, as far as the Neo, there's really not a whole lot to go on. That's there's nothing solid out there about its architecture. The only thing we really know is that it exists. It's more powerful. It's going to take advantage of the PlayStation VR. And something I do want to touch on as far as VR goes, just real quick. You look at PlayStation and the way they stand in the market right now. They're actually, they're pretty good. They have all the legroom in the world. So releasing Neo at $399. And then having the VR come out, and you have two different packages. You have just the basic headset for $399, and then the bundle for $499. So you're looking at $500, and then $400, $900 for a nice little jump into virtual reality. That has a lot of software backing it for release. According to Sony. So, and people are speaking pretty highly of that. So I think this would be a really smart move for them to release the Neo, and we will know that all come Wednesday. I'm totally expecting them to come out, talk about the Slim real quick, say this is going to be the replacement for the PS4, and has just PS4 on it. There's no little detail. And then they're going to talk about the Neo. What I want to see, though, aside from announcements of both of their existence, I actually want to see a design. I want to see a physical box. They have, if they're going to release it soon, they got to have a physical box for the Neo.
If they plan any release,
and then soon, things we as gamers need to know are what games right now currently in development are going to release on PS4 and Neo. I'm assuming at least 100% of all Sony's first-party studios have got to be working on both versions right now.
I believe Resident Evil was supposed to be on VR, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be on VR, but I want to know what's running on PS4 and Neo. Like I want to know how many first-party studios are working on PS4 and Neo titles. I want to know how many third-party studios. I want to see comparison videos. I want to know, is there any games in the existing library that are going to get patched for Neo support? Is it going to be free patch? All that kind of stuff. And they really need to touch base with that. They need to get all the confusion out of the way. They need to come out at this press conference and explain to people, this is why you need to upgrade. This is why you should upgrade. This is why this is for you. This is for you. And just basically tell us all as gamers like what we're looking for, and kind of just lay it all out there. Because like I said, they have all the leg room, but I don't want them to get lazy with it. You know what I mean? Like they're the market leader right now. In order for them to stay the market leader, they need to basically make sure that there's no confusion between the Slim and the Neo, so that we as consumers and gamers know that this is what I want over this. There was some leaked documents and stuff like that that showed like their timeline for when they were going to have dev kits, different versions of the dev kits out for people and stuff like that. I really honestly think that it's going to be the 4.2 teraflop console. There's so much space in between the Neo coming out and the Scorpio. Scorpio's rumored to be at like 6 teraflops, and everyone thinks it's the greatest thing, which is fine. But the Neo is going to have a year head start on it, and if we're going to be seeing these console life cycles basically refresh every 2-3 years, Scorpio's not going to be on the shelves too much longer before Sony makes their next move. So and it's all about the software you have behind your console. Microsoft's got some great studios out there that are working on some great content, so I'm super excited to see what they can do with the Scorpio. But Sony's got the craziest freaking most talented studios of all time working for them. Look at Naughty Dog and what they did with the PS4. Imagine if they had that extra hardware. So they've just, Sony's just got it. Everything is happening for them right now, and they can't screw it up with this announcement. They have to be straightforward and show everybody and just be real with everyone and be like, this is why we're doing this. And I fully expect it to be the 4.2 teraflop console, because if you look at the timeline and everything, they had this thing set in stone before Microsoft even announced the Scorpio, and Two things, you know, it was too late in the game, I think, for Sony to really kind of make any changes based off of the Scorpio announcement.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I honestly don't think Sony really has to make any changes based off the Scorpio announcement.
Right.
You know, I don't think they really have to compete with Microsoft in this regard. Microsoft and Sony, they serve the same purpose, but I think they're taking two totally separate paths with what they're doing, and it's awesome. You know, they're still staying competitive with each other, but also they're kind of stretching their legs and doing their own thing, and it's great to see this happening. You know, I'm really excited to see how the future of console gaming really plays out. You know?
Yeah, me too.
Another thing too is I kind of want to talk about the idea of Trinity, PlayStation Trinity, codename Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they got Morpheus, the headset, they got Neo, the new PS4. Obvious Matrix references.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so where's Trinity? Where's the companion to Neo? Where's Neo's? I'm hoping it's a not essentially like a redesign of the Vita. It's kind of like a it's like the Vita 2 type thing, you know. They take everything that they kind of screwed up with the Vita, with the, you know, the overpriced memory cards and all that stuff, and the kind of like in between the PS3 and PS4 remote play type thing, and really make a new handheld. I don't really see them forfeiting the handheld market to Nintendo, even though sales were not that good for the Vita.
So how long has the Vita been out? 4.5 years?
Jeez, yeah, roughly. It's got to be, I don't know, it was like 2012 when I got mine or something like that. It was like February 2012, and it's a great handheld. It really is, and it's got awesome software behind it. But Sony just did not market it correctly, and I honestly think if they're gonna, like, I think they learned from that, and they're gonna come out with another handheld. I hope, God, I hope,
mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be everything that they wanted the Vita to be,
mm-hmm.
and it's gotta have all their first party support, like solid all the way through the life cycle. That's what Nintendo does with their handhelds, and that's why Nintendo's handhelds succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has some of the best first party studios in the world,
mm-hmm.
and they support their handhelds with those studios, and Sony needs to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that there's a Trinity out there. I'm hoping it's a handheld, and I'm hoping that it mirrors the Neo's capabilities the best way it possibly can on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So everything the Vita was supposed to do with the PS3 and then onto the PS4, I want the Trinity, the very, very much rumored Trinity, to do that with the Neo.
And in my opinion, I think it's something that they should hold off on just a little while, though.
Yeah.
They have so much on their plate right now, I think.
Yeah.
Give them time to let all the dust settle. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode of Tech Talk.
PlayStation Edition, 1 of 2. We're going to do a follow-up after the press conference. Get in the comments section. Talk to us.
And don't forget, this Wednesday, September 7th, Sony is holding that press conference.
Lots of big announcements.
Hopefully covering the PS4 Slim, PS4 Neo, and of course the VR. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. My name is Tech Nate.
I'm Rusty Sheriff's Badge.
Be sure to give us a nice big thumbs up.
Absolutely.
Click that subscribe button. We'll see you next week.
There we go. We got it.